Hey there VCE HHD students, my name's Andy, I'm a VCE Health and Human Development teacher. In this short video we're going to look at answering the 2020 VCE HHD Exam Q11. Just a reminder, over at the Health Resources Hub YouTube channel, a new video like this one is coming out each day between now and the HHD exam this year. Please let your HHD friends know they can subscribe, and you can too by pushing the button in the bottom corner of the video there. I'm running into ACE HHD exam preparation sessions, and the first one starts tomorrow. You can book a spot to those at book.acedvce.com. You'll get a set of posted notes, and we'll go through the content as well as exam strategies. So please, if you're thinking of coming along, make sure you book ASAP so those notes have enough time to arrive, particularly for the second session, which is coming up soon. You can see our social media links there if you'd like to follow us and get alerts of new videos coming out each day, and also our email. Now, the 2020 exam question 11 was the 8 marker, and so I've done a number of videos on attempting the extended response question in the exam, so if you haven't checked those out, I encourage you to go back and have a look at them. So you can see here, this one started by saying, consider the following 3 sources relating to global trends and other factors. Source 1 was a graph here with millions on the y-axis and the year on the x-axis, and it's looking at the number of undernourished people in the world between 2005 and 2018. Now, definitely a thing to note, okay, in this graph is, although it was decreasing the number of undernourished people between approximately 2005 and 2015, there had been an upward trend, okay, from 2015 onwards. So that was definitely important when it came to considering the question coming up. You can see here source 2 and source 3. Source 2 was a bit of stimulus material about Motab and his family who lived in Yemen, where protracted conflict had turned daily life into a living hell. Talked about the fact that conflict had contributed to things such as poverty, and also had contributed to Motab suffering from SAM, which was severe acute malnutrition. So that obviously links to the stimulus material we're just looking at in the previous source. Source 3 then said, what do young people think about healthy eating? And then they had some information there, or quotes from young people from India, Ghana, USA and Sudan in regards to healthy eating. One says, we lack money here to stay healthy, our family's unable to find good jobs. Second one says, meat's not available, we have money to buy meat but the place is too far away. Third one says, unhealthier food is easier to come by. And the fourth one says, if I work to have money, then I'll buy food for my family. So you have to think again, okay, this is also obviously about nutrition and food. So all of those 3 stimulus materials are obviously linked. And so then you'll see here the question, okay, it was use information from all 3 sources and your own knowledge to discuss how global trends and other factors have an impact on achieving SDG 2 zero hunger, and the relationship between SDG 2 and 2 features of SDG 3, ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. So you have to think about, there's a number of parts of that question. So global trends, so hopefully you remember from Unit 4, those are things like obviously conflict, mass migration, climate change, digital technologies. Okay, so you could bring in any of those that you thought were relevant, but it also says other factors. So you could bring in other aspects of Unit 4, such as, say, poverty, okay, global marketing, and think about how they could have an impact on achieving SDG 2, and then the relationship between SDG 2 and 2 features of SDG 3. So there's quite a bit to this question, and obviously it's the extended response, so you'd expect that. You can see here then from the marking protocol, okay, it shows you that up in that high range of 6, 7, 8, only approximately 5% of the state was able to achieve within that band. So this is obviously a type of question that if you can do well in the exam, it'll really get you some marks that a lot of students are missing out on, so it's something to work on. You can see there, as we've looked at in relation to previous extended response questions, okay, the answer is marked using a rubric, and it looks at the interplay between things such as how the response is structured, how the stimulus material is understood, connected and synthesized, students' own understanding that's brought in to formulate their response, and this one in particular, global trends and other factors which are linking to achieving SDG 2, and the relationship between SDG 2 and SDG 3. So you can see it then says most students who attempted this question gained some marks, many showing a good understanding of the key features of SDG 3, but common errors included neglecting to include global trends or not making links between global trends and SDG 2, and not referring to all pieces of stimulus material, or failing to show how the stimulus material was connected and making vague links between SDG and SDG2 and SDG3. So definitely I say to my students, you need to go through the study design and know the important phrases in the key knowledge points, because if you don't know that there's a key knowledge point that says global trends and you saw that in a question, you might be thinking, well, what are the global trends? And so you need to make sure as part of your revision you're going through and you know those sort of key phrases from the study design key knowledge points. So if a question like this comes up, you don't, I guess, get confused about what you need to include in your answer. So here you'll see they included an example of a high scoring response, and so you can access this online with the examiner's report. And if you read this response here, you'll see that the student does a good job, okay, of bringing in global trends. So they've mentioned conflict there in their second sentence, okay. They've also talked about further on, okay, the impact of things such as global marketing. So they've brought in some of their knowledge about other factors. They've also talked about things like climate change, which is another example of a global trend. So they get marks for that. They've also linked in all three pieces of stimulus material. So they've used some data from source 1, they've used phrases from source 2 and source 3, okay, and they've connected a couple of key features also of SDG 3. So have a look at that response as part of your review of this particular question and think about how you could have a go at writing a response that's similar to that links all of that information together. Okay, hopefully you found that video useful. Just a reminder, the Health Resources Hub YouTube channel, ACE HHD exam preparation sessions, our social media links, and our email. Thanks so much.